Rees Mogg has now explained what went on with the COVID test which was couriered to his home. Part of the leak from Matt Hancock's WhatsApp messages, which came from Isabel, the lady who Matt Hancock asked to ghost his memoir and didn't want to pay her. So that is not that surprising that she has taken matters into her own hands. Of course, she is a journalist. She was the person who broke the story about David Cameron and the pig's head. Now, apparently, Rees Mogg has said that what happened was one of my children needed a test and that put everyone into quarantine, but unfortunately the testing people lost it, and that meant I was quarantined, unable to do my job as a government minister for several days until it was admitted that this had been lost. At that point, it was raised with the Department of Health, and they decided to send a test to a member of my family so the test could be carried out. Not something I asked for, so if I received any special treatment, it wasn't because I requested it. But actually, it allowed a government minister to get back to work with a child that didn't have COVID in the first place, who wouldn't have needed a special test had the system actually been working. But I accept it wasn't working for other people too. Now, I think, is that a reasonable explanation? It's actually quite a clever explanation. Jacob Rees-Mogg is a clever lad, but it's still very, very, very dodgy, and it lacks transparency. And the only thing we can hope for now is that inquiry is done as fast as possible. Downing Street has admitted there's a lot of public interest in the inquiry, and that the independent inquiry has been set up, but it can go on forever. The Liberal Democrats have said exactly what I've said, that there's one rule for Conservative ministers and another for everyone else. This government, the Liberal Democrat leader Daisy Cooper says, this government must now publish exactly how many Conservative ministers, MPs and their families had access to priority testing when the public faced a national test shortage. The public deserves to know this. I absolutely agree with her. As for the story about Hancock having a chat with George Osborne at the time when he was editor of the London Evening Standard. Well, exclusive access. That's nothing new. And there's nothing particularly surprising about that, frankly. Anyway, Matt Hancock apparently said, mass testing is going very well. I fear this looks like you wanted to ask me to be overruled. And Osborne said, no one thinks testing is going well, Matt. No. Matt Hancock was whistling in the wind and has done quite a lot of that. As I say, I think he's a clever fellow. Not clever enough, but I think he is too concerned about his own self-image and about how much money he can make. I'm afraid he's lost on the second one, because he's going to leave Parliament pretty well penniless. As for his own self-image, that's wrecked. He will be remembered for groping in the stationery cupboard looking for an HB pencil with a rubber on.